You are watching Xirtus.
Imagine the effect of the allowance of every ripple combined in one fluid body when we were all in mutual accord. Ooh, that moment. Yeah, I guess like synchronicity. Oh, this is from Christian P. Norris. The allowance of every ripple combined in one fluid body. You know, in a lot of ways, you could say like that's what everything is. It's just ripples of energy. I guess sometimes manifesting as physical matter, sometimes manifesting as like different forms of energy. I guess, and I mean, see, these are all observable things, and you know, this is the kind of stuff they could like easily teach you in school. But what no one taught me about was like the nature of will and consciousness, and you know, the nature of the kind of ripples that your consciousness or your metaphysical awareness or senses would actually emit. And you know, that mixed with the idea of like reality being downstream from consciousness, that's like, I mean, yeah, you could just say it casually offhand like that, but if you really ingest the implications of that, it's like that could be potentially life changing, right? Because if so many people are living a life where they're just constantly reacting to like external stimulus that's just being presented before them and thinking that life happens to them, you know, there's a lot of people who maybe they're an atheist, maybe they're just like a scientist or just someone embedded in like a materialist worldview, and basically they believe that they are a product of their environment or that life happens to them essentially. And you know, that could work for a while, but I don't know, that's eventually going to come with its own set of problems. And then you could start thinking as an individual like, oh no, I happen to life, like I control my surroundings, and that could also lead to like terrible problems, because then you could become like an egomaniac, you know, if you even get that far, because you could just like immediately get burnt out. Let's see. Smealin's Wrath. Sound is that which gives matter and energy, resonance, definition, and form. Yeah, sound. Sound is I think about sound a lot for sure. I mean, not just like in a literal sense, but I guess in a sense of like, since everything supposedly vibrates, everything supposedly oscillates between states of polarity, and not just physical things, like even our moods, I guess. I mean, if you're talking in like the positive and negative spectrum of things. So yeah, things are, the only thing you can be sure of is that everything's kind of like swinging like a pendulum, right? It's never going to be all bad or all negative or all dark, and it's never going to be all positive, all good all the time. It's constantly swinging back and forth. So it's like you could be like, you know, constantly stuck on that pendulum, or you know, I guess this is what practices like meditation or prayer is for, because it allows you to basically swing an adjacent right angle. So it's like every time you go, it goes bad, you could go up, you know, because that's when you meditate or pray. And then when it goes, you know, when times get good again, that's when you could just sink into your material senses and just enjoy it, you know, like be a human being, be an animal, be a product of a good environment, you know, just sink into it. So yeah, but the thing that's really important about all of it is that that pendulum, that swing will never stop. It'll never stop swinging back and forth. Like if times are good, like you can bet your bottom dollar that it's going to swing the other way eventually. And if times are bad, you could also bet that it's going to swing the other way eventually too. It's just, I think problems really happen when you try to like keep that swing static. You know, you have to just accept the oscillations. Let's see. Uh, well, I'm kind of biased. My dad was an electroacoustic architectural engineer. Cool job. He had multiple patents having to do with spherical speaker enclosures with a parabolic reflector dish that reduced distortion by 85%. Okay, so I'm getting that your dad is an inventor, and he's able to he created a certain speaker design that emits a less distorted signal. All right, that's cool. I hope you made some money off that. Pro Solution 17 asks, any good new DJs? Who is my favorite? Who are my musical influences? Um, hmm. You know, DJs, I was never really uh I was never really schooled on like big DJ names or like even their work mostly, because kind of it's a little difficult, you know, for me to follow DJs, because I used to just follow like bands and artists, and you know, you buy an album, listen to all the songs in the album, great, you're done. If you want to get into a DJ, you got to like get into like hour-long sets or 2-hour-long sets at a time, maybe 45 minutes, you know, and you're not even listening to their original stuff usually. You're listening to their mix, which is good, you know, I like it. It's kind of like, you know, like the whole meal as opposed to just one dish in the full course meal. So yeah, that's what the DJ is kind of like presenting. And I don't know, I mean, at some point it's like how often am I gonna want to just sit there and listen to an hour-long DJ set? I mean, for long drives it's cool, but most of the DJs out here were like when I went to warehouse parties or like raves or something, so a lot of local acts. And you know, being in New York, there's like so many local acts. And as for my musical influences, I would say when I was like, I was playing music since I was like 6, I guess, but I didn't care about playing music until I was like 14, and I started going to punk shows, like local punk shows, and I started jamming with bands, and that was a good time. Like we would just cut school, drink a bunch of 40s, roll a bunch of weed, and just, you know, jam like little hooligans. And then I discovered raving, which is really cool, because then I discovered like the value of actual music production, like not just thinking about, you know, music making from the musician's lens, but from the overall producer's lens. Like that's when I got more into like song structure. And that like combination of being able to A, play, improvise an ensemble, and B, learn how to produce using like DAWs, learning how the gear works, like learning how signal channeling works and all that stuff. I was able to combine that, and I feel like now it's a lot easier for me to just put together whatever I want. You know, if you know how to put together a song, if you know how to use your tools, and if you know how to jam, if you have groove, then like you got it. And yeah, so that's pretty much how I got like my journey, I guess, into making music. Let's see. Yeah, Mjolnir's Wrath's dad apparently has this crazy speaker design. I kind of want to see a picture of it at some point. Let's see, including figured out that the 7% of all mechanical motion in piston, turbine, engine, rifle, round, or rocket is actually acoustic waveform energy, only 30% heat. Oh, that makes sense. And figure out how to harness that energy to produce. That's really cool. And from an engineering perspective, yeah, I do see the value in that, because I mean, even like I just got a fun car. It's not even anything serious. It's S197 2005 Mustang, 5-speed manual V6, and you know, it just put me down a rabbit hole for like learning about cars and modding cars and stuff. And when it comes to like serious manufacturers, like say Ferrari or Porsche or even Volkswagen, I think Volkswagen owns Porsche or the other way around. I don't know, but like basically, a lot of the performance exhaust sound you get from even their like OEM mufflers, like that's like a lot of that specifically designed. Like they specifically engineer that to sound good or coherent or consistent with like the overall aesthetic and vibe of the car, which is kind of crazy to think about. I mean, that doesn't really have any much to do with even performance or like energy efficiency or anything like that. But it's interesting to think like they've gotten to the point of excess where it's like they're thinking, well, you know, we got to design these things so they don't sound so annoying when you drive it. You just want to get rid of it. And it's like, I thought that was really interesting, you know, that people actually care about the muffler sound to that degree. And yeah, I thought that was really cool. It also reminds me of like, you know, it just goes to show like how technical capitalism can actually be, or like consumerism. You know, like for example, like a McDonald's bag, that smell that you smell when you open up a freshly bought bag of McDonald's burgers and fries, that's scientifically engineered to make you want to go get more McDonald's. Like they even got the smell down. And I think that's kind of like the same thing, right? It's like, yeah, we got the product now. How can we just get better at selling it, presenting it, dressing it up, I guess. So yeah, it's interesting shit.